Hello, Jen here for the Crafty Maven Getaway. We are doing another YouTube hop. This is the rainbow hop, and I'm so excited. As you can see from the title, my color is blue, and we actually put this to our fans at the Crafty Maven Getaway to decide what kind of theme or inspiration we were going to use for the hop this time around. And one of our fans, Amber Prince, came up with the idea of having us all pick a color from the rainbow and doing a monochromatic layout with that color. So thank you, Amber, for the inspiration. We are really excited. We're going to leave Amber's Instagram info down below so that you can go and check her out and show her a little bit of love as a thank you for inspiring us for this hop. So you can see that my color is blue. It's one of my favorite colors. It's definitely a go-to color for me, and I thought that it might be fun to kind of challenge myself to come up with something I haven't done before to really celebrate the color blue. So I'm not sure where this idea came from, but I think I was inspired by a layout that I saw Missy Whedon do recently where the paper, and I can't remember if the paper is an exclusive to the hip kit or if it comes from maybe Paige Evans' new collection. That's a possibility. But it's essentially a paper with just blocks of color, and it's really beautiful. And what Missy did was she ripped the paper in half and then using some of her, it might even have been Pink Fresh Studio, because she was using, I think she was using some of the, oh no, I'm wrong. I'm correcting myself. I should probably just edit this out, but I'm not going to. This is how my brain works. It wasn't Pink Fresh Studio, I don't think, but she was using some of the colors that she got in her color kit and basically took colors that matched what was in the paper and extended the blocks of color down past where she had ripped and kind of let them drip. So the dripping part, that's kind of inspired by her, I think. I don't know where the, making these dots came from, but I just thought it would be kind of fun to pull out all of my inks. I have a lot of blue inks because I really do love the color blue. So I have a lot of these inks, and I think it's really fun to experiment with them, and I like to mix the oxides with the regular distress inks because I love the two different textures that they get. And even you can see here, the different colors also react differently on the paper and give different textures. So this color here, for example, I think this is the Broken China. It really reacts differently, and you can see the concentration of it as it's dripping down the page. It just absorbed right into the paper. So it's kind of fun to experiment and just see what all of your different mixed media can do. And then I really wanted to have a huge variation in blues because for me that's key to a monochromatic layout and allowing you to get lots of fun details and mix and match lots of blues is to really try to get as many different shades and tints of the color as possible. Do you want to say hi now?
Hi!
Bassy wanted to say hi to everybody. He was standing here watching me do my voiceover, so. Okay, see you later, buddy. So now that I have all of that ink put down and it's dried, I decided to just take this background one step further, and I'm going to add a little bit of glitter and one embossing powder. So what you just saw me put down there is embossing powder. I just have that dauber of embossing ink, and that works really good for this kind of thing. I don't find it works as well for stamps because it gets down into the little grooves and stuff in the stamp, and so it doesn't always give you a really clear image, but it works well for this kind of thing. So since that embossing powder didn't actually match any of the colors, not even a little bit, it's like a really bold kind of sky blue, I just picked a circle and used that. But for all of my glitters, I tried to match them as closely as possible to the colors of ink. So I think I do a pretty good job. Oh, and I have some stickles. That was the first thing I put on there. So I'm going to just pick a circle in most of the columns. I think I leave 2 of them bare, and add a little bit of glitter. I just felt like this was a really fun way, again, to bring in as many different shades of blue and lots of texture, because when you have so much of the same color, it's fun to kind of add the interest by adding different textures. So I did one as a full circle. This one I'm just going to do kind of a crosshatch or just lines and put my glitter on here. I don't really use my glitter a lot. It gets kind of messy, and when you have cats and things like that that are constantly jumping up on your table, or little people who like to come and say hello when you're filming, it can be a bit of a risk to pull out the glitter. So I saved you from watching me put glitter down on all of the circles, but you can see there that they're all done, and I gave them time to dry. I really kind of knocked that paper as soon as the glitter was on there to get as much of the excess off, and then I let them dry really well so that I could go ahead and put my layout together. So the pictures that I'm using are a few years old. I think they're from 2013, maybe 2013, 2014, something like that. And it's just my daughter flying her kite, and I really liked these because the blue sky is so intense, and then there isn't a ton of color in the pictures. The sky actually takes up most of the picture, but her t-shirt is pink, and so there's this bright pop of pink, and then her cool dragon kite has sort of rainbow colors on it. And so I felt like having this completely blue background with that bright blue sky in the pictures really makes that kite and my daughter pop out. It really contrasts nicely and complements the photos. So I'm going to put those 2 down, and before I started the layout, I went through my stash and just pulled out as much blue as I could. A lot of it was travel themed because I was still putting away some of my kits from the summer that I was working on my travel projects with, so there was quite a bit of travel themed stuff, but I just went through all of my embellishments, my flare. I have some puffy hearts, I have some thickers, I have that glassine bag with the light blue stripes. I cut that apart, and I thought that kind of made a nice mat for the back of my photos, just to break up the colors and kind of give your eye a place to rest and really help those photos to stand out as being the focal point of the layout. And I'm going to pop them up with a little bit of foam here. I even picked the blue foam just to tie everything in. And then that way I'm creating a little bit of dimension. So I think that's really important in monochromatic layouts, that on top of mixing and matching all of your shades of blue to add a lot of interest that way, you can also add all the textures and then add some foam, or add places where you're creating dimension, because that creates shadows and creates interest and kind of just add some extra detail to your layout. And all of that detail will really help to keep your layout from looking too flat with just one color. So this is kind of it. This is my basic design, and I'm just going to tuck in a few things. I really wanted to pull in some of that really dark navy, so I'm trying to put a little touch of that in all of my clusters. In that top cluster, I have a tag, and I have a It's actually a globe, but I kind of tucked it in so that you can't really tell that's what it is. But I'm going to put the date up there. And then I have a flare that says, I think it says Snap Happy or Happy Snap. And then in that bottom central cluster, I have a camera and I have a little label that says beautiful. And I just tucked in a little scrap of sort of dark blue paper that I had sitting on my desk. Actually, it was totally by accident, but it worked out really well. And then in this top cluster, I have a circle that it's travel themed, but I've tucked it in enough so that you can't see that. I think it says let's go. So that's hidden. And I have a little label that says hello love, and then another flare that says weekend, which I mostly picked it for the color, but it actually works because this was the weekend. The pictures were taken at the kite festival that our town has every year, so we live in the foothills and it can get a little bit windy here, so a kite festival is perfect for us. And my daughter she had so much fun with this big beautiful kite that we had, so I love how the pictures turned out. And now I'm going to fuss around a little bit with my title. I decided to go with Come Fly With Me, and I really love the font from this set of thickers. This is Pink Fresh, I'm pretty sure. I love the font. I love that it's really kind of interesting. It has lots of big letters with little tiny letters. It has that, well, it kind of actually looks like my own handwriting in the way that it looks like it's a mix of printing and cursive, which is how I usually end up writing. And so I love the personality that it gives, but I couldn't find where to make it fit in because that T is so big, and I could cut it down if I really wanted to make it fit. I could have gone ahead and just kind of cut it into the size that worked for me, but I like it. I like how interesting it is, and I think it gives a lot of movement to my layout. So I finally decided I'm going to put it down there in the bottom, and I think that works really good. It definitely keeps the focus on the photos so they don't get lost. And of course I had to add some sequins. So these are KaezMum scrap sequins. I think the package is called Starry Night. I've had it for a while, and it has these beautiful dark blue sequins in them, so that's what I pulled out. And then I have these thickers, which are a dark blue, kind of almost like an inky blue, and and they're glittery, and I'm just gonna pull out a heart to put in each of my clusters. I was thinking of putting the dots in there too, but I just go with the hearts. And my last little touch is just a sprinkle of, this is a Recollections mist from several years ago. It has some shimmer to it, so it's a different texture than the glitter and the sparkle from the foam. And it shows up differently on each of the little dots that it touches, so I kind of liked that. And that's it. That is my layout. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Go and check out all the other ladies in the hop. The links are down below so that you can follow the whole day and see what everyone else comes up with in our rainbow. If you have any questions, you can leave them for me in the comments down below. And until next time, happy scrapping. Bye!